At this roundabout, we followed ahead for Chelmsford, Romford, A12. Now we're coming into the roundabout, and this is the first exit that way. And then here, you said you think you need to be in this lane. But remember, the sign we're following is for A12, and it says A12 here. Okay, it also says A12 there. Both lanes can be used. So I think you thought this lane is going to take the exit here, but it doesn't. A lot of the time, the first lane, it operates the first exit and the second exit. Then at this roundabout, we turned right, third exit for Chelmsford, Romford, A12. So we're entering the roundabout now, and we've kept right because our exit is on the right. And if we look for the sign that says A12 on the floor, so here it says A12 in this lane and it says A12 in that lane. So as long as you use one of those, you're okay. Once you get into the lane, you must maintain that lane. So you've used the middle lane here. So now you've just got to maintain this lane. Okay. Now what you've done here, you can see you've just moved into another lane. You haven't checked the right mirror. You haven't given a signal to change lanes. You don't know who's beside you using that lane, and you just switch lanes. And this is where you'll get a serious fault for not checking the mirror when changing lanes. So you can see both lanes take the exit. You should have just stayed and maintained your lane, and you would have left on this lane here. And this is you doing the roundabout correct the next day. So the A12 sign is what we're following. So we'll use this lane as it's the left out of the two lanes. Okay, so both lanes say A12, as they should do, because both lanes will leave the roundabout together. And we're just going to keep it left out of the two, which is this one here. Just maintain this lane. You can see both lanes are leaving the roundabout. Here we approached a temporary traffic light, and you try to go past this sign here where it tells you to stop. Okay, so remember, you must stop at the sign, not at the traffic light. At the traffic lights, we were turning right, and I think you thought to turn right you need this lane here, but this is a lane for oncoming cars. Okay, so here you try to move over to the right hand lane now, and I've brought you back to this lane. So remember, this lane is for cars coming into the road, and this is for cars coming out. We were driving behind this cyclist, and we're approaching a red traffic light. Now there's no point to overtake this cyclist because you're going to be stopping anyway. But the problem is that when you overtook the cyclist, you've cut back in front of him and you forced him to brake. So if you cut back into him really closely, you can hear the cyclist's brake. Okay. We're driving down this road, and we've got a car coming towards us, this car here. We're not going to both fit at the same time. So you could pull into this gap here, or you could get past this car and pull into the gap between the car and the white car. But you've not pulled in, and then now the other car hasn't slowed down either. And then this car's wing mirror, you got quite close to it, and I had to brake and stop the car, otherwise our wing mirror would have hit it. So I just stopped you there. Okay, so just pull into a gap. If there's not enough space, if you're not sure, just pull into a gap and let the car pass. Here, the direction was to turn right at the traffic lights. So on the floor, you can see there's an arrow here saying right turns this lane. This lane where cars are queuing up is for going ahead. And then there's a second arrow now on the floor here, showing you here. And then as you got past this arrow and the past last car, you've tucked back to the left lane. This is the lane for going ahead. So the other cars were queuing up for going left. That's why there's a gap in front of them, and you've tucked into that gap on the left. So make sure you stay in the right hand lane. We're following the road ahead here, but it tells us to give way at this point here, and it also says it on this lamp. So you come here, you need to pause here, and you need to give way to cars coming from your left side, and if any cars are coming from ahead. but you've not paused. You've gone straight ahead without checking, and I've stopped you here. Okay. At this roundabout, the direction was to turn right, third exit for Newbury Park. So it's the last exit as well. So we need the right-hand lane. So you've moved into the right-hand lane, but then the right-hand lane splits up into two further lanes, and you need the lane on the right, as it's telling you, the arrow's telling you. But you've stayed in the middle lane. Now this is not a problem. You can go in this lane, but what you got to do is you got to make sure you maintain this middle lane. So when you join the roundabout, you must not go into the right-hand lane now, because that's designated for the people who are using the right-hand lane. You're using the middle lane, so you must maintain the middle lane as you go. So stay in this middle lane now. Okay, so there's a far lane on the left and there's one on the right, and you're going to stay in this middle lane. So this is the first exit. And then this is the second exit here. Okay, now as it happens, this roundabout does allow you to go right, third exit from this lane. So just carry on. If it didn't, and there was a sign telling you, or the road marking was clearly only allowing you to take the second exit, then you take the second exit. But if it allows you to take the third exit, then take it, as that was our destination in the first place. So this is a 3D view of this roundabout. So we started off in the left lane and we've changed to the right-hand lane. Now the right-hand lane splits up into two lanes, and you should use the right-hand lane, but you've used the middle one. So now you must maintain this middle lane. So you cannot go from the middle lane into the right-hand lane. That's what the car in the right-hand lane should do. You must maintain this middle lane and join the middle lane of the roundabout, because you've started from the middle lane. Now go around the roundabout in the middle lane. So this is the first exit. Continue past. This is the second exit. Continue past, because this roundabout allows us to go third exit from this middle lane. Check the left mirror, give a left signal, and then take the exit. We're about to have a meeting situation with the cars that are driving towards you from ahead. Now, notice this parked car on the right here. Okay, these cars will not be able to drive past because of these two parked cars on the right. So when you approach here, you pulling into this gap isn't gonna solve the situation, okay? Because these cars, they cannot get through. So that's why these cars have all waited there, and they're allowing you to go through. And I think somebody beeped at the back, and I think that panicked you, and you sped up to go. And you see this guy here, he's going to come and he's going to open his door. You haven't anticipated this very well, and I've had to brake to stop you from hitting the door. We're coming to the end of this road, and the instruction was to turn right. Now the oncoming cars will be using the other lane on the other side of the curb here. So this lane, from my fingers there, is all our lane. Okay, so to turn right, you must keep to the right side near this curb here. But you've kept in the middle, more to the left, and now you cannot turn right now because somebody else has already pulled up beside you on your right, and they're going to go into that gap there. At this roundabout, the instruction was to take the second exit for Dagenham straight ahead. So the ideal lane to use is the left lane, but you've used the right-hand lane. Now on this particular roundabout, you can go ahead from this right-hand lane. But what you must make sure you do is you must go into the roundabout in the right-hand lane again. So you must use this right-hand lane and join the right-hand lane again. If you're using the left lane, then join the left lane of the roundabout. But what you've done is you've gone into the roundabout, and look, you've taken the left lane. And now you've not checked your left mirror. You don't know who's beside you on your left side, if someone else is going to use that left lane, and you just moved into the left lane. So this is the roundabout. You've come to it in the right-hand lane here. You must maintain the right-hand lane throughout the roundabout when you go in now. So you must go into the right-hand lane here. and go through the roundabout in this lane. But what you've done is you've gone from the right lane directly into the left lane. Now, if somebody had come up from the left side and joined the roundabout, you would have crashed here. Okay, so you must maintain the same lane you're using to go in when you enter the roundabout. We're driving down this dual carriageway and there's a bus joining in. Now, big vehicles like this bus, they need a lot of time and they need more room. So when they turn, they might take up both lanes. They might use the space of both lanes to turn. You just need to give them more time. So what you're trying to do here is, you see the car move to the right here. Without even checking the mirror or checking the mirror and moving your steering wheel at the same time, you try to go into the middle lane to go around the bus. There was a car directly beside us and I had to stop you from changing lanes. You can't change lanes that quickly. Here we don't really need to, because the bus, just give him a bit more time and then you'll be able to carry on behind him. But you cannot make a split decision and change lanes. It is not safe. You won't have enough time to gauge. See, it was that vehicle there that was beside you, and if you hadn't changed, you probably could have collided with them. So you must take a lot more care, a lot more time, many checks in the mirror, maybe even a sideways glance before you change lanes.